this is blocked, so yours now effectively here. That opens. That seat is still open, and everyone.
Is this like a card reader thing? Or?
Yes.
So yeah, do I have to put the cards on
Dot.
there?
If you can just put your cards onto the dot, that'll pick everything up.
Yeah.
We need to in stud rounds. We need to manually input the up card. So if you could please just delay the folding. Don't be too fast with your action. We're literally going to have someone try it in style.
I'm going to fuck up because I've never done this, but just tell me.
That's okay.
Well, I don't think
We haven't done it either. So
Are they
it's all good.
individual cards, or can you put whole lot down?
You can put them both down. We can read up to 5 cards. So it's all good. It's all good. And if something doesn't read properly, we'll get it through the headset and we'll just get you to sort it out. So I'll get a table for you, Bruno.
And can you see the cards there? Like, can I?
They'll just come up as blues when I read your card.
Is there a button that you can press?
So we're still on Razz.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Mixed Game Academy, live on a 20-minute delay here at the Play Live Melbourne headquarters at 129 York Street, South Melbourne. This is the 10K Horse. You heard that correctly, the 10K Horse Championship. Day one, a $10,500 entry, 40-minute levels. This is Horse, the acronym H.O.R.S.E, standing for Hold'em, Omaha 8 or better, Razz, Stud, and Stud 8. For those people who don't know much about Horse, we're going to bring some commentators actually on into the combox with me. I'm Joshua Monk. I'm going to be the anchor for this particular event throughout this today and tomorrow, and I'm joined in the commentary box with Dale West. Covey, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Monkey. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, good to have you on board. Now, you've played a lot of poker before, and you know quite a bit about these games?
Know quite a bit about it. Skill level's not so much, though.
Not enough to drop $10,500 on an entry, I can't imagine.
Oh, definitely not, no.
And we've got some big names in poker sitting at this feature table, as you can see. Now, just bear with us as we're trying to get the graphics going on this particular feed. It's the first time a 10K Horse, from my understanding, has ever been streamed online in Australia. And like I said before, this is the MGA, the Mixed Game Academy 10K Horse Championship, proudly presented to you by Play Live Melbourne at 129 York Street, South Melbourne. We're going to start off with the game of Razz. For those players who don't know much about Razz, maybe Dale, you can talk it through them.
Yeah, so Razz is a stud format game. So as you can see on the screen, players will get 2 down cards and 1 face up. And the aim of this game is you want to get the 5 lowest cards. So ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the best hand in Razz. And after the first up card, you'll have a betting round. And then, as you can see now, we're on to the next street, 4th Street. And there's another betting round there. These are fixed limits too. So you can only bet the blinds 4 and 8K in this. So you're not going to see any, pot size raises or anything like that. It's all fixed. It's quite a fast game because of that as well.
Yeah, no doubts about it. Now, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, for those people just tuning in, there is going to be a lot of cards in play. We're going to try and call it the best we possibly can. I will talk a little bit about how to read the cards in Razz. So the idea here for Razz is you've got to try and make the best 5-card low combination you can, with the wheel being the nuts, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. The cards all have their own numerical values, with the ace playing as a low card. So just very quickly, the easiest way for those people at home tuning in for the first time learning about Razz is, instead of there being a community board like you'd see in Hold'em and in Omaha, there is a board, your own independent board, pitched out to you from the dealer, and you are betting your cards that are in front of you, your board, against your opponent's boards that all the other players can see. In a format such as this, there are 2 down cards, then 1 up card showed. Usually it's known as 3rd Street, or the first up card. And then there will be 4 more additional cards to come along with that, in the format of 3 more additional up cards on 1 down card. And your object here is to try and make the lowest hand possible. Now, for those people who are unaware of how Razz works, the best way to explain it is think of it as a numerical value. So if ace, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the lowest hand possible, invert that and you've got 54,321. So talking about what I mean by that is that if you see a player, for example, who's got 7, 6, 5, 4, 2 in their particular hand, that would make 76,432. and it would be beaten by any hand that has a lower value than that. It's probably the best way to explain it. So at the moment, you can see Jason Wang picks up the ace-6 deuce. He's miles out in front at the moment because he's got 3 cards playing to a 6th low at the moment against Bruno, who's got the Queen-Jack-7, and Ash Gupta has got the 10-6 deuce. As 4th Street is what we like to call it here, is pitched out. It might take a little bit of time for us to be able to pick up the cards. As you can see, Jason Wang now drawing to a 6th low. So he's got ace, deuce, 5-6, or inverted a 6-5, ace deuce there, Dale.
Yeah, Ash doesn't have a bad hand as well. Obviously, Jason's got the ace-6 down, so Ash doesn't know how good of a hand Jason actually has.
So here comes 3rd and 4th Street. We're just going to play a little bit of catch-up. Just bear with us. It's the first time ever that this has been streamed. And the guys down in the studio, Matty Marshall and Seth down there, doing a phenomenal job. We've actually also got Dom sitting at the table, putting those cards into the readers. So if there's a small delay, we do apologise, but we're going to try and give you the best, viewership and commentary to go along with this. As you can see, Ash Gupta here making an 87, an 8-7-6-3-2. Jason Wang, who was miles out in front, drawing at a 6 low, actually whiffs completely and makes a 9 low. Now, just quietly, in this particular game, it's not an 8 or better game, and we'll get to an 8 or better game in Omaha Hi-Lo, which is in this rotation of horse, and stud Hi-Lo, where you have to have an 8 or better low to qualify for the low hand. In Razz, it's just your lowest 5 cards, the hand that you compete with.
Yeah, and the speed of the game, it's quite hard to commentate, really, isn't it?
Very hard.
How fast the action is.
So we're going to try our very best, Dale. Like you said, the speed of the game is going to be a bit quick. We have told Prince Shannon Vandenberg, the owner and the operator of the Mixed Games Academy, to hopefully ask the players to slow down a little bit. As you can see, all of these players are absolute elite mixed game players. They've also taken down some big scores in Hold'em and Omaha and other events across the world. James Obst obviously sitting in seat 3 here. Absolute crusher from Adelaide. Ash Gupta, the guy that I've given a shout out all week along with the three side, is sitting in seat 4. Sitting next to him in seat 6 is Daniel Mayer, also known as Diamond Dan. Bruno's also in there, and Hank is going to be sitting in the 8th spot. Now, just quickly, with this, there is a forced ante paid for by all players of $1,000 each, as you can see up in the limits top left-hand corner. The limits are 4K, 8K, with a 1K ante paid by each player prior to the commencement of the hand. That just ensures that there's chips in the pot that the players can win.
Yeah, the action will start with whoever has the lowest up card, and it's also by suit. So,
well, in Razz here, it's actually highest card. In Razz, it's actually the highest card. But I know what you were getting at there, Dale. No, totally fine. As you can see, Daniel Mayer picking up at ace-7, showing with 4-3 in the hole. So he's drawing at a 7 low. Ash Gupta at the moment drawing at an 8 low with the ace-6, 5-8. Ash picking up a pair on the turn, and Daniel Mayer just absolutely spiking it on the turn. He's got a 7-6, 4-3 ace, and Ash Gupta at the moment has got a 4 card as 4th Street comes out here, Dale.
Yeah, and you'll notice the bet goes to 8,000 from 5th Street onwards.
That's
so
correct.
It's 4,000 on 3rd and 4th, and then the bet doubles. So by 5th, you want to really make a decision whether you want to stay in the hand or not, because it starts getting expensive.
100%. As you can see, Ash Gupta there, he's got the ace-6-5, a beautiful starting hand, but unfortunately for him, he went a 5. He went ace-6-5, and then I believe he hit a 5 on the 4th Street, an 8 on 5th Street, and another 5 on 6th Street, and cannot compete, as Dan Mayer is going to scoop that with what we call a 76. He had a 7-6 low in his hand. Now, when we're talking about smooth hands too, just quietly, so if a player has ace, deuce, 3, 4, or any type of combination of it being smooth to the wheel, we usually would call this like a 7 smooth or a 6 smooth, or obviously the nuts or the wheel with an ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you hear us in the commentary saying he's got an 8 smooth, that means he's got 8, 4, 3, 2, 1, which means he cannot make any, that's the lowest possible 8 he can make. And like I said, the best way is just to invert those card values into a numerical number and reverse it. So that would be 84,321. That's the best way to read the cards for those people first learning about Razz.
Yeah, down there with the Queen. So he's the bring-in.
The bring
1,000.
talk a little bit about the bring in. There's two options. You can bring it in for the minimum.
Yeah, you can bring it in or what's called complete, which is the bet. So I think James has raised it.
He has. So
Sorry, Jason brought it. He completed to 4,000, so he kicked it off with a bet. Then James has raised in there.
as PK Master just spots me out here straight off the bat, Daniel improved on 6, had a 64 low. I do apologise. We are kind of reading through a couple of things here in chat, and it's Dale's first time in here, so just bear with us as we go through everything in today's 10K Horse Championship. That's correct. A 10K buy-in, $10,500 buy-in. The next entry would be $10,250. So they're giving you a 50% discount on your second bullet here. 40-minute levels. And this is hand number 4 on the stream. Hopefully you guys can chuck some stuff into chat. Thank you so much for all of the people in the chat and logging in to watch this for the first time ever, a 10K horse event. It's going to be a little bit difficult to follow the action considering how fast these players play, but I have asked Shannon downstairs to get them to slow down a little bit as the up card, the first up card, is pitched in this hand of Razz. Over to you, Dale.
Looks like Dan's got the bring in again with the Queen. Yes, it's not a bad thing to get him out the way early. You don't want them later when the blinds start getting up there. It can be very costly.
The bring in is the force bet that you have to place out there. It is the size of the ante for the bring in, as Daniel Mayer had to put in the bring in of 1K.
Yes, sorry, Hank's completed their very nice starting hand, and he's got the ace up, which everyone can see as well.
So as you can see, Hank out in front at the moment, drawing at an 86. Jason Wang pick up a 9 on 4th Street. He's drawing at a 9 low as Hank pairs up on 4th Street. Making it a little bit easier now. As you can see, the bets are structured or limited. 4K on 3rd Street, or the first up card. 4K on 4th Street, and then 8K on 5th, 6th, and 7th. As you can see, as Hank picks up another pair on the 5th Street there, I should say. So he's still drawing in an 86. He needs 2 running cards to help him out. And Jason, at the moment, has made a queen low.
Hank paired the 8 again.
Hank's picked up another 8. You can't make that up. He actually, as you can see, now cannot make a competing low. Because you need to have 5 cards to compete for a low. So obviously with the 8-6 ace showing, then a 6-8-8-9 run out, he does not have a competing low, so he cannot win the hand unless he chooses to bluff it. As Jason picks up a 97. 9-7-5-4-3.
Yeah, I think Hank just gave up there.
Obviously has to give it up. Now, I believe that there are 14 runners so far in this. We'll update the field in approximately 20 minutes. There's 140K in the prize pool. Sure, why not?
Eugene in the chat there, I see. Thought I would see him down there, actually.
Jared Bullock saying, WTF is Westy doing in the booth? Shout outs to Jarrett in the chat there on Facebook Live. We are live on a 20-minute delay on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on Twitch. Shout outs to everybody who is joining us in here for the 10K Horse Championship. Horse is the acronym for Hold'em, fixed limit Hold'em, fixed limit Omaha 8 or better, Razz, Stud High, also known as just Stud, and Stud 8 or better. We'll get to those games and we'll call them out when we get to those games, as we get round to hand number 5. Limits, as you can see, up the top left-hand corner, 4 and 8K with a 1K ante and a 1K bring-in. Matty Gin's on the way, according to Party Tricks. Party Tricks coming in clutch on the YouTube. Hopefully you can come down here at some stage, Party Tricks, and mix it up. You'd be a favourite in this field, I'd imagine.
Tricks would have been the favourite for sure. So they've switched to Stud now.
So in Stud, slightly different to Razz. Stud, you're trying to make the best 5-card high hand as you can, with the lowest card being shown on 3rd Street, or the first up card being the forced bring in. And as you can see, Hank's picked up Pair of fives, he's got a 5-3 in the hole, or the 2 down cards. We call them hole cards, meaning like H-O-L-E cards, not W-H-O-L-E cards. So he's got a pair of fives. Ash Gupta's now picked up the flush draw on 4th Street. And Hank out in the lead at the moment with his pair of fives. As Ash Gupta now picks up a straight draw to go along with it. His clubs and a few.
This is the street where the bets double, so there you go.
Ash is going to lay that one down. He actually calls the action very similar to what we did just then, Dale, in the chat. He said, I've got a straight draw and a flush draw. If he paired another king, he probably would have gone with it, but decides to lay that down. As you can see, Daniel Mayer out at the moment with 122 bigs. Tournament, you start off with 200K in your chip stack. So it's a fairly deep format. It's a 2-day event. They'll be coming back tomorrow, just the qualifiers only. Late registration, I believe, finishes tonight. If you guys have got some deep pockets and want to come along to play some horse, I'll just get some notes on that. So end of rego today is at 6:45 local time here in Melbourne, the start of level 10. As we are playing stud now, as you can see from that game card sitting right next to the pot, stud is the game. So it is stud high, trying to make the best 5-card high hand with the board that you are playing, your own independent board. There are no community cards, Dale.
Nah, it's all whatever's in front of you, that's what your hand is. Now,
James Ops picks up 3 to a flush to open the bowling. He's going to re-raise it, make it 8K to go with 3 to a flush. Pretty good starting hand. Ash Gupta's got 3 to a straight. He might come along here too. Hank in there with a pair of 3s. Jason Wang with the ace-queen 6, ace-queen in the hole.
yeah, the ace-queen in the hole is not bad cards to have. So he's decided to come along and see if he can hit something. James 3-bet there with the clubs. I didn't get a good look if there was many clubs in the up cards.
John Walton is actually saying, why are there 2 dealers? There isn't actually 2 dealers. The guy that's wearing the MGA sitting to the right is actually using an iPad to input those cards for you guys at home on each street. So we can try and get that information as fast as possible to you to be able to call the action. So that iPad is tracking the cards right at the table, the up cards, I should say, and the studio is going to be tracking the down cards, being those cards that are unseen near the player's chip stacks. So we have to duel this one to be able to bring you this action today as 5th Street comes out.
Check 7-6. Check.
As you can see, James Ops now picking up the 4 flush on 5th Street. So he's got 2 shots at trying to make a flush that would
8,000.
take this one away. Hank's got a pair of 3s with the 10-9-8 to go with it. As we know, Ash Gupta folded a 10-9-8. So a fold, and now we're heads up going to 6th and 7th Street. James Ops needs to find King Jack 8-7 or a club. And I believe that's the...
He's got a lot of outs there, James does.
He does. Here comes 6th Street. As I believe James Ops picks up the 6 of hearts.
Brick.
And Hank has not made anything better than his pair of 3s at the moment. Still drawing at 2 pairs, but still out in the lead with a pair of 3s. James Ops with a ridiculous amount of outs to be able to take this down. He can win with the King 8, Jack 7, 6. And James Ops, as you can see, has picked up a 7 on 7th Street to make a pair of 7s. And Hank's whiffed it with the King of Spades. So Hank is going to go down here with his pair of 3s. Now, can Ops find a call if Hank decides to keep betting into him?
Hank bet the whole way, didn't he? Oh, he's checked.
Hank's decided to check his pair of 3s.
James will take it.
And James is going to check back and take it down with his pair of 7s. Pretty unlucky, actually, for Hank not to pick up 2 pair there. And simultaneously, pretty unlucky for James Ops there not to pick up a flush or make a bit bigger pair than a pair of 7s, but got the job done nonetheless.
It's like, is that Matt Gin that's just sat down?
There he is. Matty Gin and Tonic coming into seat 4. What a superhuman of a bloke. I love Matt Gin. Absolute lovely. One of the loveliest guys in poker, I have to admit. Just a gentleman of the game. And gave me all of his chips in the deuce to 7 earlier this year. Oh, actually, earlier last year, pardon me. in the Deuce to 7 championship that yours truly took down, Dale. I did actually win the Deuce to 7.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did,
well
yeah.
done.
In the final series, and Matty Jim was on that final table. I drew 5, then drew 4 and Deuce to 7. Picked up a 76, and that was all she wrote. Matty Jin, who had an 8 smooth.
Did you say you drew 5?
I drew 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had ace, ace, king, king, jack. Drew the king, king, jack, jack, 9.
Did you
On the
call a raise?
Sorry?
Did you call a raise?
Yeah, I
first?
caught a raise. Obviously, I have to call a raise. Sometimes you just got to feel it out and end up scooping a monster pot after drawing 4 straight into a 76 low. There's the Prince of Poker himself, Shannon Vandenberg, standing behind the dealer.
Miller's asked there in the chat if Hutton's playing. I believe he went straight home after winning the main last night.
He did. As James Ops brings it in with the 3 of hearts, Ash Gupta has decided to complete 4,000. Getting a good little flow going on at the moment now in the commentary and flow of the game.
No, so Jason was the bring-in. So notice James just called the 1,000. He didn't choose to raise there.
Sure. And then Ash decided to complete it to 4K. Bruno's come along with the queen with pocket 9s in the hole. As you can see, Ash has got pocket 7s in the hole. And James Ops, again, 3 to the flush. As 4th and 5th Street have been dealt out. So we're going to play a little bit of catch-up here. Like we have said at the start of this stream, this is the first time us streaming this event. So we do apologise if there are some technical glitches and a bit of delay in the cards showing up on your screen. We're just calling it as quickly as we can see it. I believe James Ops might have made aces on 5th Street, which would take the lead. But at the moment, given the information we've got, pocket 9s are out in front.
Bruno's throwing them in.
Bruno's going to throw them in. So I know that 5th Street is out, but the graphics haven't shown yet. But I believe James Ops made a pair of aces on 5th, which he did, as you can see. And Ash Gupta picked up 3 to a flush and a 9, and he's laid that down. So Ops is going to take down another.
Yeah, these guys have been doing this for a long time, so they know exactly what their next move is. That's why it's so quick.
And that's why it's a little bit difficult to commentate on, but we're trying our very best. So bear with us as we try and catch up with the action as fast as we can. As Dalton Wilshire comes into the chat on Facebook Live saying, what game is on right now? How many runners? I believe that we have 14 current runners in the field. Prize pool of $140,000 already for this 10K buy-in. I believe the game that we are currently playing is Stud High.
Did Matty make it 15?
Matty might have made it 15. Yeah, good shout
so.
from Dale. Yeah. Comments from the super coach here in the commentary box with me. Dale West joining me this afternoon as we try and call the action for you.
A couple more entries would be fantastic. You can get up to 20. What do you reckon?
I reckon we might be able to get a little bit more. I reckon we might get up to like 23, 24, 25, depending on how many bullets these guys want to shoot into it. And I know there's some latecomers coming in a bit later on this afternoon as Ops has to put the bring in with the nut low card, the deuce of clubs. Dan May has decided to complete with his ace jack 7. He's jack showing. Hank's going to fold the 5 round to Jason. He folds the king up, 6-3 in the hole. And James Up's going to fold the queen 4 deuce. So just for you guys at home, there are 2 cards that are kind of indented on the stream. They are the whole cards of the players that all the other players on the table cannot see. They're the whole cards, your down cards. And the 4 cards that are slightly adjusted on your screen higher than the down cards are the up cards that all players on the table can see. So players are making a decision based on what they can see from other players' boards and their down cards, and then they play it out from there. And we are still on stud high here before I believe we get into stud high-low. That's another variant of this particular stud game.
This is... Oh, no, we're still on stud high.
Correct. Wait, as you can see, the stud game, you can see it right next there. Underneath the Play Live logo, stud is the game of choice. The antes are 1K each. You can see up in the top left-hand corner. The limits are 4K, 8K, 1K ante. All of these games in this rotation are fixed limit games, so you can only bet the structures. You cannot move all in like in No Limit Hold'em or bet the size of the pot like in Pot Limit Omaha. As Matty Gin and Tonic here picks up 3, 4, 5. He's going to make the bring in for 1,000. Everybody's folded round to Jason. He's got the 3 to a straight, but he's going to put that in the bin. James Ops showing a king up. He's going to complete it to 4. Matty Gin and Tonic's going to come along with these 3, 4, 5, 3 to a straight. And off to 4th Street, we call this.
King high. King of clubs.
And obviously, in terms of the action in stud, it'll go to the highest hand shown on the board will act first at any one given time. And in Razz, it's the lowest cards showing on the board will act first. And then in stud high-low, again, it's the highest hand shown on the board will go first. But we'll get to that shortly when we cross over to stud high-low. Enjoying yourself, Dale?
I am.
It's a lot to catch up on. You've got chats going on either side, chat down here in Twitch. Yeah, you've got the cards coming out hard and fast.
Things happen everywhere.
Yeah, no doubts about it.
We are excited. It's good to watch some poker that's not interrupted by other things going on in your life. I did spend the last week watching the stream every time it was on, but like probably most people, you can't watch every single hand, but it was on in the background.
Five of diamonds.
But yeah, it's good to be able to watch everything.
There's Grahamy Bennett. Comes in clutch on the chat there on YouTube, also known as Graham Bennett, but I like to call him Grahamy after the 12th man. You playing, Trixie? Trixie says no. I reckon Trixie's going to be a late starter in this event. Likes to come in nice and short and then just take it away.
I expect a max late reg in the tricks.
I love that. As Ash Gupta makes the bring in, Jason's going to complete to 4K with his king showing. Ash can't call. 3 cards to a 6 low, which is obviously no good in stud high.
Game machine.
Yeah, and obviously Jason there, he's just going for a steal. Doesn't have much to back up with that king, and it's worked there. You
MSP
see a lot of that.
Yeah, MSP joining us in the chat, also on the Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining us, MSP, also known as Manda Star Pike, but we've given her the nickname as of about 3 or 4 days ago, and she stuck by it. I believe she might be getting a shirt made up, so shout outs to you, and shout outs to everybody in the chats and who have tuned in to watch this 10K mixed horse championship. This is day 1, late registration, like I said, until 6:15 tonight.
I believe this is the first 10K horse for Australia.
That is correct. 6:45, pardon me, for the late registration. So if you've got some deep pockets and you want to come and play against the best, this is the place to come. 129 York Street, South Melbourne, the Play Live headquarters, as Bruno picks up the 3 clubs, and he's going to be the bring-in here. He's going to bring it in for 1,000. Hank's going to fold an ace of clubs there. The King's in the bin. James Ops folding the 4 clubs. Matty Gin can't get it. Ash is going to fold. Daniel's going to fold. I believe he's got the King 7-5, the 5 of clubs showing.
Does Dan go for it?
He's going to complete.
Yeah.
And is Bruno going to come along with the 3 to the wheel?
Raise it up. 8,000.
Not only is he going to come along, but Bruno's
go.
going to put in a raise here pre-flop with a 5 deuce 3. We aren't playing Razz at the moment. We are playing stud high, low. Sorry, pardon me. The game has changed to stud high, low. So Bruno has got a very nice hand at the moment with 4 now to the low, as Mayer picks up a king on 4th and makes a pair of kings. So stud high, low, it's a split game pot. So the best high hand picks up half the pot and the best low hand takes the other half, as Bruno makes a 76 low straight off the bat, 5 cards in.
Yeah, and he's got that draw to the straight, so I expect maximum pressure.
Absolutely. Bruno is the gentleman right there with the bikies moustache going on, the white hair, sunglasses down the shirt, and Dan Mayer playing right next to him with the Mixed Game Academy. Shout out to the Mixed Game Academy. He's wearing the Mixed Game Academy merch. As you can see, Dan Mayer has the best high hand with his pair of kings.
Which Bruno's low, it needs to be, it's an 8 qualifier.
Yes, correct.
5 cards, 8 or lower.
That's very well said by Dale. Talk them through a little bit about how the 8 low works in stud high low and Omaha Hi-Lo for that matter.
So this game's a split pot game. So one half of the pot is awarded to the player with the high. If nothing changes now, Dan would win it with kings.
8,000.
If you have 5 cards, 8 or lower, so no pairs, then you qualify for a low.
That's correct.
It's kind of like the Razz.
3 or more cards lower than 8 that don't pair makes you qualify for the low in stud high-low and the same in Omaha Hi-Lo. As you can see, Bruno here has got a pair of 3s for his high and he has a 7-6 5-3 deuce low. Can't lose the low, as you can see on the screen, as Dan Mayer picks up kings and nines. He picked up a 9 on 7th Street to make kings and nines, so it's a very easy call for him to call. And this hand is going to be chopped up 50-50. 50% of the pot goes to the high hand, which is Daniel Mayer with kings and nines. And Bruno's going to take it with the low of a 76-5-3-2. Some people...
Well, although it is an easy call for Dan there, he called quickly. I just expect later on when the blinds are quite high, it's not such an easy call because Bruno's board there, he could have had a straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good shout there.
And that's when every bet, it's so valuable. And you will see some folds later on of, particularly in that game, there's the stud high.
Yep.
Where the high hand that does have the check mark will let it go based on the board that the opponent is showing.
Sure.
And that's the beauty of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys who have been watching a lot of Hold'em throughout the last few weeks with the Play Live Melbourne Millions, we are now showing you more than 2 cards. We're up to 7 cards in this particular mix.
Truly, we're a bit bored of Hold'em by now. I know. I was watching it all week.
No doubts about it. We're going to go deep in this particular event with some big games, and we're going to try and teach you at home whilst we're calling the action live. It's a pretty difficult task in the commentary booth, so we appreciate all the support you're giving us. As Ali Mustafa also comes into the chat on Facebook Live. Spiritual Tradie Podcast coming in. Can I get a few bullets comped? I wish. As you can see, Bruno bringing it in here with the 5 of hearts, being 1,000. Hank's cards didn't show up on the reader. Jason's got a fold of king showing. Matty Gin's got the deuce.
I'd expect Bruno to stick around as well with the 3 cards.
I believe the deuce.
8 and lower.
I believe the deuce should have brought that in, but maybe it's just a GFX glitch downstairs. That's okay. Ash Gupta has picked up a pair of 10s on the 3rd Street, or the first up card. Daniel Mayer shooting at the moment for a 6 low. He's got 6, ace, 3, and diamonds working for him. Bruno's got the ace, 5, 8, so he's shooting at an 8 low at the moment. Gupta obviously playing for the high hand because he can't make a low at the moment. He can draw to one, but he can't make one.
And Ash would know he's most likely against 2 players that have lower cards in the hole, and that's what they're going for. So that's the risk you take.
So 4th Street, it's gone check by Gupta, bet by Dan Mayer, who's now got a draw to a 64 low, a very competing low that is. He bet out 8,000. I believe that Bruno called, and I believe that Ash also called. So we're actually on 5th Street at the moment. The cards are just taking a little bit of time to
Dan got
show up.
Looks like he got a 2 there. Oh, it's a 3. So he's paired the 3.
So, like you said, Dale, he's paired the 3 there on 5th Street. Gupta picked up the deuce of diamonds. Oh, no, pardon me. Daniel Mayer actually did pick up the deuce of diamonds. So he's got a 6 low. Gupta out with the best high hand, pair of 10s, and also shooting for a 7 low, but obviously cannot win the hand as Daniel Mayer picks up the 6 low on 5th Street.
All right, he did get the deuce. So
I believe it's a
we
queen.
know that Dan's free rolling. So a 5, if a 5 comes for Dan, it's be a scoop.
Yeah, absolute scooper. He would make the wheel and a 6 high straight for his high hand.
You got a wheel, you can have it all.
There you go.
Ash goes, if you made a wheel, you can have it all. Cards are taking a little bit of time to show up on stream. We do apologise. This is the first time Play Live in conjunction with Mixed Games Academy have ever put on such a massive event, and the first time we've been streaming H.O.R.S.E. So we do apologise if there is some card delay. We're doing the best we possibly can. This is the 10K Horse Championship brought to you by Mixed Games Academy, proudly in association with Play Live Melbourne at 129 York Street, South Melbourne, who have just completed their Play Live Melbourne Millions, which was just absolutely outrageous. I believe they got something like 4.5 million in their total prize pools, Dale.
Yeah, I heard the guys talking about that earlier. They were trying to... how much was it? 4.5?
4.5 million. They only
And
guaranteed 2 million, yeah? 4.5 mil.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah? Not much for you, Dale, but for the battlers at home, 4.5 million's plenty.
Well, there's still today too.
Yep.
A few more people get down, they can add to that prize pool.
As Lord 911 comes in there, into the chat. Like we said, we're on a 20-minute delay here at Play Live.
5 of spades.
This 10K horse championship.
Any more aces above?
We're on 3 platforms:
Ace of spades.
Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch.
Ace of diamonds.
As TLO Maddie 017 says, doing a great job, lads. Really appreciate that. It is very difficult to call the action here, especially how fast these players play.
4.
We're not as big as WSOP or WPT where they can track the cards a lot faster, but the boys downstairs doing a tremendous job to try and give you the action as fast as possible. As Hank picks up kings in the hole, Bruno's got 3s in the hole, and Ash Gupta's got the 5 deuce of clubs with the deuce showing. So he's picked up a pair of deuces, as Jason actually has 3 to a wheel.
Raise to 12,000.
We are playing stud high-low. James Obbs actually has 7s in the hole. He's going to fold that with a 10 showing. Matty Gin's got 3 to a straight. He's going to fold that.
Fours.
Yeah, Hank's made the 3 bet there.
12,000.
I would assume he's done that because he's got kings and he's seen 2 aces are gone, so there's less likely that another ace will come out, and then his kings are toast. So see how this hand plays out. Always nervous when you're going high only.
Yeah, absolutely. This is now 4th Street for those people when we're talking about streets. This is 4th Street, as it's known.
4,000.
As Bruno picks up Queen of Diamonds to go along with his pocket 3. So he's drawing 3 to a flush. And a pair of 3s in the hole. Kings for Hank. Kings in the hole. And Jason Wang has picked up a pair of 3s to go along with his nut low draw.
That looks like a good card for Jason. Obviously, we know he didn't want to see that one. Bruno with the
King of Hearts on
king there.
5th Street. It's going to go check, check, check on 5th Street. So here comes 6th
I'd
Street.
say Bruno's finished with this hand now.
He's now picked up queens and 3s, just as you
maybe
say
not.
that for the jinx in the commentary box here. Has taken the lead for the high hand. He's got queens and 3s. As you can see, Jason Wang drawing at the wheel. He's got now ace, deuce, 3, 5. So a 4 would give him the wheel. He doesn't have a competing low, as you suggested earlier. You need to have 5 cards in your hand lower than 8 to compete for the low. So he needs to find a 4, 6, 7, or 8 to make the low. He doesn't make it as the 10 comes in for him. He's just made a pair of 10s now, absolutely whiffing that low after drawing pretty smooth.
Hank there with the 9 for kings up.
And Hank outdrawing Bruno, as you can see, now making kings and 9s. No competing low out there, so this is going to be a one-way pot. And a full scooper for Hank. He's now picked up kings and 9s. He's most likely going to bet this, as you can see, going for some chips. He's going to bet 8K, which is the structure on 7th Street. It's also the structure on 6th and 5th. He's going to bet out his kings and 9s. Jason must be spewing. He's actually whiffed the entire amount he was drawing at a wheel.
He's ended with 2 pair, but Jason's good enough to get away from this.
Good call from you, actually. I didn't see that. He does have 10s and 3s. Good shout from my
Even
co-pilot here.
Look at the odds he's getting.
He does have 68K or 34 big blinds to his name.
8K
This time?
into 88. It's pretty good odds with 2 pair. But
He is also looking down just quietly. Look at how Hank's hand has played out. He's got the 9, 8, 10, 4. And he's betting into the field on a 9, 8, 10, 4 board. The players can also see Bruno's up cards, which is ace, queen, king, queen. Very dangerous for him to be able to make a call here with 10s and 3s, even though he has got 2 pairs, considering both the boards are out. Obviously, he's looking pretty good against Hank's hand, but Bruno could have an ace, a queen, or a king in the hole. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have that. You can't believe
I think
that
Bruno's going to make the crying call. He doesn't like to fold.
I think he kind of has to. He's only got queens up, queens and 3s. As you can see, he's behind to Hank's kings and 9s. And I believe that Bruno made the call, shows the queens and 3s, but they're going to go down in flames as Hank picks this up. He scoops the entire pot there, 63K with kings and 9s.
Yeah, very nice one there with Jason bricking the low draw.
Now, out of all the mixed games out there, Dale, what's your favourite to play?
I like deuce to 7 single draw, no limit.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the deuce to 7 triple draw, actually. I like squeezing up a few more than just one round of squeeze because I'm a bit of a squeeze player. I also don't mind the badoogie, or as my friends back home call it, the balk doogie, because it can throw you off a balcony when you're trying to draw 1-1-1 to try and make one suit, and you can't get there. Badoogie not in this mix. This is Horse, a 10K horse championship. The acronym standing for Hold'em Omaha 8 or better, Razz, Stud High, and Stud 8 or better, as we are playing Stud Hi-Lo at the moment.
4 cards. Disapside.
Yeah, this can be a brutal game, as you just saw with Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. Picked up 3 to the nut low. Couldn't get there. Ended up making 10s and 3s. Couldn't call either, so Dan Mayer picks up 3 to the flush. And was the bring in with the deuce of spades. Jason Wang now picking up a monster. He's got ace, 6, queen. He can shoot both ways, that for the high and the low, but Ash Gupta's actually picked up a few of his club outs and the low cards too. And he's going to come along as Dan Mayer decides to call also with king 4 and a 4 showing it as his first up card. So it's 4-way action here.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one. There's no one with 3 babies going for that low just yet. So, yeah, a couple of players hit their cards. Clubs will be a stretch to get there. So many of them gone.
Jason picking up a pair of 6s to go along with his flush draw. Ash Gupta picking up a pair of 3s to go along with his flush draw in clubs, which obviously are beat.
How's that the other 2 players get the clubs?
The other 2 players get the clubs, yeah. Kind of funny. Good shout there from Dale in the chat here with me. King 449 for Daniel Mayer. And I believe it's gone bet call, I should say, because there's 4 players in there. This is 5th Street now coming out. Dean Williams Stacey coming in clutch on the chat.
A spade, did he? No.
Daniel Mayer's now picked up 2
9
pairs,
spades.
9s and 4s. He's going to lead out for 8K. Round to Jason, who picked up the queen. Now he's got queens and 6s. He's going to put in a raise here.
And important for Jason's hand, he's also got that ace there with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So action back round to Daniel, who's facing a raise here. Now, none of these players, as you can see, can make a low. Like we said before, it needs to be 3 or more cards less than the value of 8 that don't pair for you to be able to compete for the low part of this hand. And none of them have the possibility of making a low. So it's basically just high hand versus high hand at this point in stud high-low. Jason picks up a 3 and Daniel picks up a 5. No help to Daniel.
And Dan will definitely notice Jason's board there with the 3 low cards. So
action would have started with Daniel Mayer showing the pair of 9s. So the best up card shown is the first to act. So he would have checked his option. Daniel would have bet out and Dan Mayer would have called.
Yeah, Dan calls. So very hard for Dan to get away from it here.
I agree. As he picks up a 5, he's actually got 3 pairs now, Daniel. 9s, 5s and 4s. Still not good enough against Jason Wang's queens and 6s. As the deuce of hearts comes in on 7th Street for Jason. No help to him, but still miles out in front.
Another bet too.
Absolutely.
Jason to bet, and yeah, Dan probably make a crying call.
Possibly. He's made 3 pairs.
The A6-3, Jason's board. Dan and call to get half is what he's thinking, I'd say.
Yeah, Dan's going to call with his 3 pairs. They're not going to be good enough. Jason's going to show him the queens and 6s and take this one down. No competing low, like I said before. Hence the reason for why this hand is not chopped. No player on 5th Street could make a low. Even on 4th Street, for that matter.
Yeah, nice size pot there for Jason. Well needed after the last few hands. He just bricked.
Nathaniel Hutton coming in on the chat. Sure, the big man himself who clutched up and took down the main event yesterday. I had the privilege of calling that with Josh Abatey and my co-conspirator of the You Can't Make It Up podcast, Adam Burke. Berkey, shout-outs to you. That was absolutely outrageous what happened in the last 2 days of that main event. So if you've got a chance and you jump onto YouTube or Facebook Live at Play Live, you'll be able to see the last 2 days' worth of action. An unbelievable turn of events at the end of day 3. And then Nathaniel Hutton coming with a big chip lead, getting the job done. He lost a few chips earlier in the day yesterday, but was able to take it out for, I believe, 157,000 or somewhere in the vicinity of that after they made a heads-up deal. He also took down the trophy plus the water bottle. A little bit of extra spice on top of that money.
Everyone gets a water bottle, do they?
The winner gets a water. Yeah. Trade 1-on-1, just quietly. So the inaugural winner of the main event, Play Live main event was taken down by Nathaniel Hutton in the chat. So shout outs to you, Nathaniel, for joining us, as Ash has got 3 to the low and Hank's got 3 to the diamonds for his high hand and 2 cards to a low. 10 of hearts, no help to Ash. Hank picks up a 9. 10s and 9s pretty awful in this game, to be fair. They do not help the majority of the time with high or low hands. As Hank picks up a 3 of diamonds on 5th Street and Ash picks up the deuce. So Ash drawing at a 64 low and a 10 high at the moment. And as you can see, Hank drawing to a flush for his high with 2 cards remaining. He could also make a wheel as Hank picks up.
That's one of them.
Have a look at this for Ash here on 6th Street. Picks up a 10. Hank picks up a 7. And the flush comes in for Hank, who picks up the flush. So,
and he got the 7 low.
He's got the 7 low, correct. Wait.
Ash has got trips.
He's got the deuce to 7 nuts there. He's got the 7, 5, 3, 4, 3, 2. So he's made a 7 low with a flush for the high. Ash Gupta has made 3 of a kind 10s, no low. He's going to show 3 of a kind 10s and be done and dusted here as Hank is going to scoop this one with, like we said, a 7 low, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2 low for his low hand, a 75, and a flush queen high for his high. And he's going to scoop that one away from Ash Gupta, who got a little bit unlucky there. He was drawing to the low, had 4 cards to the low, ended up making 3 of a kind 10s, believe it or not, there, Dale.
Yeah, the 3 of the kind there. Hard to fold in this game.
Agreed.
Was that a bet on every street? That was a good sized pot, that one for Hank.
Yeah, I believe so. As Hank is the guy sitting in seat 8, right next to Dom Parker, who's the genius working the iPad next to the dealer. Jason Wang sitting in seat 1. The boss from Adelaide, James Obst, in seat 3. Matty Gin and Tonic in seat 4. Ash Gupta in 5. Daniel Mayer in 6. Bruno in 7. And like I said, Hank in seat number 8. As we are still on stud high-low, you can tell which game it is here from the top view, or the flop cam, I should say. Stud high-low is the game that we were playing. Bring in there with the 2 of clubs, I believe it is. Is that correct? Could be the 2 of spades. A little bit difficult with the glare coming across the cards at the moment.
2, so.
2 of spades. James Up's going to fold the ace. Ash is going to complete with his ace. Jason Wang cannot continue with the king-9 deuce, so he's going to fold, and Ash is going to just pick up the antes plus the complete that Jason was forced to have to make.
Yeah, betting that ace. It's we can see that it's a steely under 9 with it. It's not the best card to have with it. And he gets away with it.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of completes pre-flop with the ace, because the ace can play both ways. Obviously, it can play for the low because there's the nut low card in the low portion of stud games, and it can also play for the high because you can make an ace high flush and aces and so on and so forth. So, as Manda Star Pike in the chat, MSP says Dom is a great mixed game player himself. I actually flew him in just for this series to deal it out.
So this will be the last hand. I think this is hand 7. I think, and they'll switch up to Hold'em, which will be a bit slower.
Again, fixed limit Hold'em. It's not no limit Hold'em. It's fixed limit Hold'em as James picks up 3 to the wheel, starting off with an absolute monster. Deuce 3-4. Ash Gupta decided to complete with his ace 8-6. He's shooting for an 86 low. And obviously high cards to try and make his pair or a high hand. James Up's obviously going to come along after being forced to put in the bring in.
Just 2 bricks again.
2 absolute bricks. Ash Gupta picking up the king of clubs. James Obst picking up the 3 of hearts. It does give him 3 to a flush. James Obst, as it goes check, check, I believe.
Oh, yeah, on 5th, it's not much of a brick, is it?
James
Obst, 3 hearts.
Yeah, James Obst shooting low and 4 to a flush. As I believe James Obst here picks up a pair of 10s on 6th Street. Ash Gupta has a pair of 6s to go with his hand. Also picking up a 10 on 6th. James Obst's going to bet out and Ash is going to fold. So James Obst with a pair of 10s showing. 3 hearts showing as well with the 4-3 in the hole. He's going to take this one down. James Ops up to 137 bigs. Ash Gupta down to 150k or 75 bigs. We are playing quite deep. All the players here started with 200k. As you can see in the top right-hand corner now, 15 players have entered in there. There are still 15 players remaining in the field. The top right-hand corner will show the players still remaining in the field, and then the 15 in the black top right-hand corner is the total amount of entries to the event. Pop in the bottom right-hand corner, and obviously the event ribbon at the bottom of the screen there, Mixed Games Academy 10K Horse Championship. That is correct. It's a 10K buy-in. Eat your heart out, poker lovers. This is the feature table.
I'd love to see that over 20.
As the game is now changed to Limit Hold'em. No antes in Limit Hold'em.
1 falls,
Blinds are going to be
3 falls, 4 falls,
2K, 4K.
5 falls.
Well, the limits, I should say, should be 2K, 4K. So the blinds will be 1K, 2K. You can bet 2K in increments, I should say, of 2K pre-flop, on the flop, and then on the turn on the river, that gets adjusted to 4K as the flop comes down. Deuce, Jack 3.
8 check,
You can see Don Parker going over to the studio talking with Matty Marshall about trying to track these cards here. Unfortunately, we're going to just call this one dry. It's gone bet call. The turn card brings in the Queen of Spades. I believe there are
6 checks.
2 players in this hand. I believe it's
Yeah,
Dan
Dan's on the
Mayer.
button.
Yeah, Dan Mayer and Hank fighting it out. As I think the 4 of clubs peeled off there at the river.
8 bets, 10,000.
Hank's going to bet out of the big blind here. Action back around to Dan Mayer. We do not have their whole cards at the moment, as Don Parker had to talk to the studio about maybe some.
Yeah, I think
Tracking?
there's a delay.
Yeah.
Because he's bet 10,000, so the blinds
6 gold.
must be 2.5, 5.
And Hank's just
Oh,
gone
he's
for a
mucked.
bluff there and chucks him straight in the muck. And Dan Mayer is going to take that one down on that board of 3, Jack 2, Queen 4. Hank went for the bluff there.
He's laughing about it.
Yeah, got his hand caught in the cookie jar, just decided to muck his cards. Didn't even want to turn them over. They were that bad. Probably had a 7 or an 8 in his hand, non-competing for either the high or the low. As Foddy Fatakis in the back left-hand corner there, that is the big man himself, Foddy Fatakis in the house. Shout out to Foddy. Wearing the ding material. That's Frenchie too, walking in the rail. So Foddy and Frenchie in the house, as you can see.
3 falls.
I did see Foddy on the stream the other day. Was that in the main? Did he have a deep run?
So what was this?
Foddy was in the main event, wasn't he, the other day?
I think it was Frenchie, actually. I'm not sure if Foddy was playing. I believe Frenchie was in there. Yeah, no, Frenchie was definitely in the main.
I saw Foddy a lot over the last few days, I reckon.
Thank you very much for all the support we're getting in the chat across 3 different platforms, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. It is a very difficult thing to commentate on, especially how quickly the action goes through. We are having a couple of technical glitches downstairs in the studio, I have been told, from Matty Marshall. So we might be having to turn off the stream to restart the software downstairs. So we do apologize for all of our viewers. We might have to stop and restart the stream, which means we might be missing a few hands, and we do apologize for that. But obviously some technical glitches we're ironing out for you guys to try and bring you the best
4 falls.
product we can. As Ash Gupta comes back to the table, misses his hand. The hand had to be mucked. Damayer's going to fold out of the 6th street. 6th chair, I should say. Bruno's folded. And to Hank on the button. He's going to raise. We're playing at the moment Limit Hold'em.
Calls.
The first game in the horse variants. Michael Warford coming in saying, good to see Mixed Games getting streamed in Australia for once. Not only getting streamed, but this is a 10K event.
8 check.
So definitely not your Mickey Mouse Club here. Deuce 8, 6, 2 diamonds down on the flop, 6 of hearts on the turn, brings in the pair on the board. It's going to go check, check. And here comes the river, brings in the ace of diamonds, so the flush does hit. We can't quite see the whole cards yet as they're dealing with the technical issue downstairs.
King high.
And 10 high is going to be shown, but King high is going to take it down for Hank. So we do apologize if the whole cards aren't being shown or anything's being tracked at the moment. We'll get that information to you as soon as we know. The studio downstairs dealing with a software malfunction, so we might have to cut the stream and then come back to it. But If you're not liked and subscribed to Facebook Live, I strongly suggest clicking that button on Facebook and on YouTube, because we might have to cut the broadcast temporarily whilst we fix those problems, and then we'll be back on live on a 20-minute delay. Do apologise to our audience who have logged in to watch this, but we will have to restart that software at some point. Getting some information about that, Dale.
Yeah, well, it makes it interesting. We've got the same information as the other players at the table, so
Three fold.
we can deal with it for a little bit, fix it.
Maybe what we can do in the interim is we can talk about the players themselves. Obviously, no help that we do not have any of the whole cards showing, so maybe it might be a good idea to bring up a couple of Hendon Mob stats. Might as well start off with the big man himself. James Obst.
Four checks.
Ginny checks, Bruno checks. Neither player liking the 8 of clubs on the turn.
Four bets. 10,000. 10.
Just verifying that I'm human on the Hendon Mob. James Obst here. Total live earnings. Check this out. Eat your heart out here. $5,065,026 USD. His best live cash was $462,000. He is 468th on the all-time money list. He was born in Adelaide, Australia. I believe he also resides there. However, it does say his residence is Melbourne, Australia, but I'm pretty sure he actually...
I'm not sure where he lives.
I'm pretty sure he lives in Adelaide. I might be wrong. But 5 million USD in total live earnings in tournament poker. Pretty good. Also a cash game specialist, so add an extra 10, 15 million on top of that for the cash, because he's an absolute crusher in the cash games. And I might actually bring up my mate Ash Gupta here too. What's you call?
James played online for a long time, didn't he?
He did, yes. As you can call the action for me if you don't mind, Dale, whilst I bring up a few more stats.
Sure, we have, I think, where's the button there?
One raise. 10,000.
Jason's raised it.
Three fold.
Oh, the button was on James. Ash in the big blind makes the call. Heads up to the flop, I believe.
Heads up. Five checks. One check.
Queen, 10,
Five
6.
checks.
Check around. Ace on the turn. This might put a bet out there for someone. Nah, checked around.
Five checks.
Queen repeats. Neither player looks too interested in it.
Patrick Russell in the chat there. Good morning, Monkey. Thank you, mate. It's deuce 3, the Michael Jordan nut low versus the pair of 4s from Jason Wang. He's going to take that one down. Let's get to Ash Gupta here. Just had the most unbelievable deja vu of all time just then sitting in the com box. But let's get down to Ash Gupta's Hendon Mob. This is where I'm deriving these stats for you. He's the gentleman sitting in seat 5 right there, chatting. He likes to be nice and chatty. He's one of my closest friends in the poker industry. He's got 1.915 million USD to his name. Best live cash, 604,277, which I believe was at last year's World Series of Poker Monster Stack, the bracelet event number 37. It was a $1,500 no-limit Hold'em tournament. He's actually on the Poker Go and on YouTube. He's the guy who had the three side dot that I keep blasting on about. He came third there for 604,277 USD. If eat your heart out there too, just quietly. And he's the guy sitting in seat 5. So some big names out there as Ace 5 Deuce comes on the board here. We're playing limit Hold'em in this rotation at the moment. Ash yawning. It's a bit early for him. It's 3:33 p.m. He's usually a bit of a night owl like myself. It's going to go check, bet, fold as Bruno takes that one down. Who else have we got here? We got Dan Mayer. See if I can bring him up. If you don't mind checking the action for me,
Yep.
Dale.
Still no information. There's the Prince. Keeping an eye on things.
And Daniel Mayer, who's sitting to the left of Ash Gupta. The guy there with kind of the Mr. Burns type haircut. The glasses on. Lovely guy too. They call him Diamond Dan.
Raise. 10,000.
Total live earnings of $415,345 USD. We're talking about every time I bring that number up. His best live cash was for $129,052. And his biggest score, like I said before, I've got to see if I can find it. I believe he came first in an event in the WSOP at some stage. See if I can draw that information out of Hendon Mob.
8 check, 5 bet. 8 raise, 10,000, 10, 15.
Whilst the action continues here.
Yeah, Hank's led out there. Ash has called.
Memory serves me correctly, I believe he came second, I believe, in like a 5K event
8 raise, 20,000.
on the WPT. If memory serves me. No, pardon me. He came second in the $1,500 limit horse. So similar to this, but a smaller buy-in, obviously in USD. He came second for $129,052. That was during the 2024 World Series of Poker event series, as the 10 of hearts and the 6 of hearts peel off on the turn of the river.
8 bets, 10,000.
Hank's going to bet 10K. As you can see, the limits up in the left-hand corner have not been updated yet. Like I said, we are dealing with a technical difficulty. Says, hi guys, awesome job as usual from Deb in the chat. Dale was a little hard to hear. It's his first time in the combox. Maybe if you don't mind,
Yeah.
Dale,
Get
get a bit closer to the microphone. I've been in here quite a few times, so I know exactly how far away to be away from the mic. But Dale, I very much appreciate you joining me in the commentary box. This is Dale West in here with Josh Monk Monkey, calling you the mixed game stuff this afternoon. We'll be bringing in some more special guests into the commentary box for this particular event. I believe Party Tricks might be coming in at some stage. Shannon in charge of who's going to be coming in here as a guest on the stream, as I'm going to be anchoring this one today and tomorrow for all of those people at home. And hopefully for all those Berkey lovers out there, I'll see if I can get Berkey in here tomorrow for the Berkey Monkey combo. Obviously, no offense to you, Dale, but he's my partner in crime.
Is Berkey the one? Is he doing a shoey?
He's doing yeah, great
He's
shout.
doing the
Yeah,
shoey?
sure, he is doing the shoey. Oh, he has been watching the stream. Shout outs to Dale there. Yeah, he is doing the shoey with Josh Abity, or Barty as some people call him, one of the owners.
3 folds, 4 raise, 10,000.
Yeah, never understood what the
5 folds.
why anyone would want to do that. But anyway,
Not my cup of tea. I opted out of that. James opted out of that.
Folds.
Forget about the shoey. Not my cup of tea. I like to have my beers
7
with no floaties in them. I don't even have a lemon, believe it or not, in my Corona as it goes. Bet call. Off to the flop. We have changed the game now to Omaha Hi-Lo. So Omaha Hi-Lo, for you guys that aren't aware, in this particular format is a fixed limit structure, like all the other games in this rotation.
this
And
is another split pot one.
yeah,
Just like stud 8.
so half the pot goes to a qualifying low. Like I said before, you need 3 or more cards on the board need to be less than 8 that don't pair. So I'm going to kind of talk that one through here on this particular board,
bets, 10,000.
so you guys have got an idea.
7 calls.
This goes bet call. So as you can see at the moment, there are 3 cards that are less than 8 on the board: the 8 of spades, 4 of clubs, and the ace. So there are 3 cards less than 8 on the board, so there could be a qualifying low depending on what they turn over.
Can I get
Is that Bruno?
It's Bruno
and
shows the
Ginny with the ace king.
yeah, they're going to chop that one up. So there's an 8, a 4, and an ace. So 3 cards to the low. Pardon me, sorry, Dale.
I can't see their other cards.
The other card was the ace king of diamonds, just quietly for Matty Gin Tonic. So they're going to chop that up. But an 8, 4, and an ace. So 3 cards on the board less than 8 that don't pair allows there to be a qualifying low hand. It needs to be 8 or lower. So for example, if Matty Gin and Tonic there has a 3-2, a 3-5, a 3-6, or whatever in his hand, he would have made a low and received half that pot with an 8 low. And then obviously the high hand just playing straight up Hold'em styles, or straight up Omaha styles, I should say, with just the best high hand. With the community cards on the board and the 2 cards in your hand.
4 fold.
2 cards of those 4 cards that are dealt to you in Omaha,
10,000.
competing for the high. So the idea here in this particular game is you want to try and pick up a hand pre-flop that can play both ways, so you've got an opportunity of being able to scoop the pot, getting enough to compete for a low and enough to compete for the high.
8 fold.
Big pot brewing here.
Yeah.
Ginny's open with a raise and been 3-bet by Dan, and then Bruno's come along on the button, I believe he was.
As the flop comes down 10-9-9. Now this is a perfect example of where
4 check.
a low hand is not possible, because regardless of what the next 2 cards are, there would not be 3 cards less than 8 showing in the community board as the Jack of Diamonds peels off on the turn. So obviously players shooting for the high hand only can scoop this pot. Low hand not possible, as discussed in the previous hand. It looks like there's been a bet for Matty Gin and Tonic. Goes around to Dan Mayer. I do call him Gin and Tonic. I will maybe dial that back a little bit. I've just known him as Matty Gin, and I use the nickname Gin and Tonic
6 fold.
every single time I say hello to the bloke. So I'm just used to calling him that nickname as it goes bet, fold, fold. And Matthew Gin,
Quick folds
government
there.
name, Matthew Gin. He's going to take that one down.
Hard to
It's Eugene chucking a couple of laughing emojis in the chat for the James opted out. I know his name is Obst, but thought that was quite funny. Bit of play on words. Goose there walking across the stream. He's one of the dealers. We do apologise for no graphics or no hole cards at the moment. We are dealing with a technical difficulty downstairs. I am getting some updates from Matty Marshall on the screen here as to when this might come back on board for us. Again, we thank all of the viewers for tuning in and watching this 10K championship. It's the first time they've ever streamed a mixed game here at Play Live. So just bear with us as we iron out any of those little technical difficulties. This is a 10K horse championship brought to you by the Prince of Poker himself, Shannon Vanderberg. Shout outs to Shannon. Mixed Games Academy, in conjunction with Play Live, have put on this 10K horse championship. It's a $10,500 buy-in, with the $500 going to the food and beverage. For the re-entries, the food and beverage package has been dropped down to $250. So you get a 50% discount on your second bullet. As the flop now again comes Jack, Jack, King. No low possibility. It's going to go check from the 1 seat and Jason. Check from Obst in the seat 3. Bet by Mayer.
1 call.
Jason's going to come along. And Obst is going to fold. So it's heads up action now to the turn. You can call this one if you don't mind, Dale. I need a breather.
Sure. Can't see it.
1 check.
Seat 1 checks. Goes around to Dan Mayer. He's going to lead out on this turn.
1,000. 10K.
So obviously the limits here.
1 call.
Jason likes the turn. Oh, 9.
Limits here are obviously 5,
Like,
5K, 10K.
Thank you. Check.
Yeah, 5-10, I believe. There was
Correct.
no, there's no chance of a low on this one.
Good shout. Michael Walford asking me to come on, Josh. The true Aussie way is to do a shoey. Look, I'll be honest with you. Unless you guys want to see me vomit on chat, vomit on stream, I'm definitely not doing a shoey. Just not my thing. I've got a pretty bad gag reflex. As Dan Mayer shakes his head here, I can't believe he could be potentially outdrawn on the river. Got a decision to make for 10K as Jason just leads it into him on the river. Dan Mayer, the guy that you can see shuffling the chips in his hand, also known as Diamond Dan, wearing the Mixed Game Academy merch just quietly. Looks pretty good, that black shirt with the Mixed Game Academy logo on it. And he's going to
Not
fold
gonna do it.
in disgust too, just quietly, as Jason Wang picks up that pot. Eugene Portland in the chat, party tricks himself. One of the most unbelievably well manicured beards too. He's got the salt and pepper working for him. Always wears a cap too. I've never seen him without a cap on. Obviously very sun smart bloke. He might be coming in a bit later on, hopefully. Maybe find a couple of backers, Eugene, and come in here. It's going to be a pretty decent sized event. I'm anticipating more than 20 entries. We are at 15 at the moment. Nobody's busted to date.
Yeah, plenty of time to jump in.
Ring that little bell, Eugene. Come in, bring that little bell. Just ring that bad boy when it's a full scooper as the action goes round to Ash Gupta, who's under the gun here. I believe we are still playing Omaha Hi-Lo. We definitely are. Ash is going to fold that. Dan folds.
6 folds.
Bruno's going to let go of that.
7 folds.
Hank can't find a hand either. Round to Jason on the button.
1 fold.
And it's a blind of the... Battle of the blinds, I should say.
3 calls.
As James Ops just decides to limp in.
4 checks.
Matty Gin and Tonic. Just going to check his option from the big blind. We are playing Omaha Hi-Lo. Flop comes 9 Queen Deuce. A doogie.
3 checks.
Dale, if you don't mind, I might get you to just call the action
Yeah, sure.
by yourself. I just need to duck out for half a second, if that's okay.
Sure, mate.
Cheers, mate.
7 on the turn.
3 bets. 10K.
Possible low coming.
4 folds.
No. Easy one there for James. Genie not interested from the big blind. All right, action to Dan.
6 folds. 7 folds. 8 folds.
Pulls
1
around to
fold.
James. Gives up.
3 folds.
Lines again.
4 calls. 5 check.
Genie calls. Ash checks, and here we go, the flop.
Shake it. Shake your cards. Shake, shake.
6-5-3.
That's the one.
Check. 4 checks. 5 bets.
Checks to Ash, he
5
bets.
4 calls.
The turn.
4 checks.
Sorry about that, Dale. Just need to wet the gullet by getting a couple of drinks in the comm booth here. Calling the action so quick and fast, you get a bit parched pretty quickly.
5 checks. 9s.
And he's going to show a pair of 9s, I believe, for the high. And Ash is going to show the trip 7s. Pretty funny. Shows the slot machine there. Trip 7s. And Matty Gin's going to take that down with a pair of 9s, I believe, was called out from the dealer for the high. Ashy, one of the biggest larrikins in poker, just the loveliest guy. If you ever get an opportunity to see him in the poker room, I strongly suggest going up there and saying hello to the bloke. He's just the loveliest guy ever. Thanks, MSP. We really appreciate those supportive comments coming in on chat. It's not easy what we do up here, especially without the graphics shown and the changing of games every 7 to 8 hands, give or take. And with some of the graphics on the screen also not showing the correct information, we just have to basically call it blind. So we do appreciate everybody logging in and watching us across the 3 different platforms.
Yeah, I'd say the chip stacks haven't changed either. I think they're stuck as well.
Right, okay, good pick up by you.
8 folds.
So we just crack a Red Bull here in the commentary box. Now, Eugene said, what other events have we got tonight?
1
Good
fold.
shout from the big man himself.
3 raise. 10,000.
I'll get to that in just half a second.
You're the only person on the table that we didn't get a scan there. Does it know that it doesn't need to be my...
I believe Jimmy the golfer won the Saturday yesterday. There were 2 Saturday seats
4 folds.
that they gave away into this event yesterday, plus I believe $4,500 roughly in cash. They ran a Saturday yesterday for this, the Horse Milestone satellite, and we call him Jimmy the golfer, or Golfer Jim. Won one of those seats, which I assume that he might be coming into this game a bit later on, or could potentially be on one of the outer tables. Can't quite see the outer table at the moment, but we'll get you some information of those players on the outer table shortly as we get back to the action here. Now, given the fact that we're not
Action card.
Yeah, 2 of hearts on the turn, brings in the flush.
1000.
There's James Ops there, smiles and throws it down.
So no
But-
low cards and no
Yep.
high hand.
That's correct. He could have actually made like 2 low pairs, like a 5 and a deuce or something. It's just not enough to compete when the flush comes down. And obviously somebody could be free rolling you with a made low. Also with a ace 5 2, there's a possibility that people would be calling with a 3-4 in their hand and could have just made the wheel on turn. And you're drawing pretty thin. But anyway, let's get back to what's happening tonight. For those people who have got work today,
25.
at 6:15 this evening, have a look at the name of this event from Shannon, the Prince of Poker himself, the Shetland Pony. You got to love that name. The mini horse. So for those people who don't have the deep pockets to shell out $10,500, the mini horse event starts tonight at 6:15 p.m. The Shetland Pony, also known as the mini horse. It's a $650 buy-in. 20-minute levels, not 40-minute levels like they have here in the 10K Horse Championship. And that's the exact same
4
rotation of games. Hold'em, Omaha 8 or better, Razz, Stud, also known as Stud High, and Stud 8 or better. So if you like playing horse, there is a $650 buy-in tonight starting at 6:15. I'll get some information about when registration closes for that particular event, but 6:15 is the start time.
7 balls.
Good one for first timers too.
Yeah, great
If you're
shout there.
watching this and-
Yeah,
and-
absolutely.
And you're interested, come down. Mixed game players, you'll find are the nicest overall in poker, I reckon.
I totally agree with you. Could not agree with you more. And one of the reasons for why I've come into the Combox today, a lot of these guys are friends of mine, and a lot of these guys are actually friends with each other. So it's kind of almost like a home game, but instead of just playing for nickels and dimes, they're playing for big cheese, $10,500 buy-in for this particular event. Obviously 10K going towards the prize pool. So they're playing for some big money. It's like a big home game, I guess you could call it. I know that Hank and Bruno, Daniel Ash, actually, as a matter of fact, all of these players, probably with the exception of Jason, have played a lot of home game poker, or at least a lot of mixed game poker across the Australian circuit and internationally. So these guys are all basically friends with each other, as Goose is about to take a seat as the dealer.
Goose, the action dealer.
The action, he does like dealing up some coolers, and Dom obviously going back onto the iPad, so they might have resolved a couple of those technical glitches they had
Tricks apparently changed his
from,
mind.
from earlier. And there we go, Party Tricks. You got the shout out from the guys on the table. You can hear that table chat coming through. We will be trying to bring you a little bit more table chat for this particular event, just by the fact that all of these players are friends with each other, so the chat's going to be a bit loud and a bit cool. So if you want to hear a bit more table chat, I'll try my best to shut up whilst these guys chat it out. We've got some other players on the other table, like Foddy, for example, who just one of the most hilarious guys in poker, just a lovely human being. He's got a big voice and likes to show a bit of table banter.
Should we have a look at Bruno's stats?
Sure.
We got around to Dan there as the game's changed to Razz. Razz will, it's a game you can play all day. It'll just beat you down. It's a grueling one.
Yeah, I agree.
So Bruno played the 50K last year
Mm-hmm.
at the WSOP.
Did he really?
Yeah, he satellited in. Played the satellite for
Jeez.
$600, I think.
Right. Okay. Sure. That'll work.
I think there was steps, and
10,000.
yeah, he won the 50K seat. And they said you can play it or you can take 35, and he said no, I want to play it.
Well, there you go. Dale West in the chat with me, coming in clutch with a bit of outside information. I had no idea he played the 50K. Sure, fair enough. So this is probably quite cheap there. That would have been a 50K USD event, right?
USD, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So about 7 times. This is about 7 times smaller for him. You know, 50K is probably what, 70,000 Aussie, something like that.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, just bringing up his stats here, according to the Hendon Mob, this is the stats that I'm going off just in case there's some trolls out there trying to find some different numbers. I am going off the Hendon Mob information. He's got total live earnings of $414,718 USD. His best live cash was for $44,052, and he's just outside 9,000 in the all-time money list. 9,084. Says that his residence is in Victoria, Australia, but I'm not sure if that's true
I think
either.
Bruno does live in Melbourne, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Just haven't seen him around all that often. Obviously, a 10K event will draw his attention. As we are onto Razz at the moment, it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to obviously call the action here when we can't see the down cards. We can barely see the up cards just for the sheer fact that there's a table glare because we've got to have lighting on this feature table. So we apologise if the commentary's a bit dull, but hopefully you guys at home can sort of catch along. Maybe it gives us an opportunity, Dale, to talk about Razz and what Razz is all about for those people who don't know anything about Razz. Basically, it's stud low, essentially, just the low portion of stud. However, you don't need to have 8 or better. It's any 5 cards in your hand. You've got to try and make the lowest 5-card hand, I should say, with no competing lows. So a jack low, a queen low, king low, 10 low, whatever, they all compete. There's no sort of cutoff or qualifier of 8 or better. And it's played exactly the same as all the other stud games there, Dale.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game where you're really playing your board. You could have 2 kings in the hole and an ace up, and you could just run pure. You could get a 3 and a 4, and although you might have the 2 kings, you're betting the whole way. And if your opponent just gets a brick, the hand's dead.
Yep.
It's one where the cards speak for themselves.
As they go off to 6th Street there, I believe an ace comes in for Ashy Boy. And Bruno just doesn't even want to see the bet. He just throws the cards in viciously.
That's what I mean. So as soon as he says that ace, Bruno says it's hands over. I'm not playing anymore.
So to give you an idea, you get dealt 2 face down cards, also known as down cards or hole cards, meaning H-O-L-E cards, not W-H-O-L-E cards, and 1 face up. The highest card shown face up is forced to make a bring-in bet. It can either be a bring-in for the size of the ante, which in this particular case, I believe is 1K if the information up in the top left-hand corner is correct, or you can complete it, which sometimes does happen, especially if you start off with like deuce 3 4 and the 4 is deuce 3 for example, and you've got a king showing. You might decide to complete with that particular hand, or obviously a card lower than a king. Sometimes it could be like the 8 is the highest card, and you might have like deuce 3 8. You might decide to want to complete it to the betting structure. Structures will be in the top left-hand corner when we get them updated shortly. We do apologise for technical glitches there with the chip stacks and the limits and the hands and so on and so forth. But Matty Marshall is going to be... Matty Marshall just actually coming upstairs to let me know a couple of things shortly. As the boys downstairs, Seth, are going to continue with what's going on downstairs. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, Dale. Can you remember what I was talking about?
No, I was looking at over there as well.
So anyway, Razz is the low portion, I guess, you could say, of stud, but no qualifying required like 8 or better like in stud high-low or in Omaha Hi-Lo. Basically, you've got to try and make the lowest hand possible with the cards in your hand. There's no community boards. So it's 2 down cards dealt with 1 card face up. And then there was 3 more up cards and then 1 down card, completing 7 cards, 3 in the hole and 3 up. All the players on the table can see your up cards, and the idea of this game is to try and make the lowest 5-card hand possible with no qualifier.
Yeah, I've found in the stud games you get bigger pots because you've got the extra street of betting, and then it can go multi-way. So they do get massive in Razz and stud.
So it's also a bit of a game of memory too. You know, like in all of these stud games, you also need to kind of remember what your opponents have folded. It plays very big in trying to calculate your outs and also your equity in each hand. You know, so everybody here is pretty well attuned to playing horse or mixed games, so they kind of remember what's been folded quite well. But it does play a big part in calculating how many outs you've got, and obviously the strength of your hand comparatively to your opponents and what you could be drawing to. As we get some information about what's going on the outer table, D King coming in there, 1975. Bruno has been playing for years. I agree. We just brought up some stats just before on Bruno. Over 400k USD on his Hendon mob in tournament cashes. In the outer table, here we go. Coming in clutch, Gary Benson is sitting in seat 1. Foddy Fatakis, the big man himself. Shout-outs to his ding merchandise there with Frenchie. He's in seat number 2. Mitchell Armstrong is in seat number 3. They've got his name down as American Brad or US Brad. His name's Brad Maltz. He's out there in seat 4. Timothy Masters is in seat 5. Oliver Gill, seat 6. Cale Burns. Yeah, talking about big numbers. Cale Burns is going to put up some big numbers on Hendon Mob. We might try and bring up some numbers on him. And MT is what he goes by. Michael Tomini is in there as well on the outer table. As you can see, 15 players currently entered into this event. 15 players still remaining as we are playing Razz here. Goose has now decided to come in to deal the games. Now, as you can see, the hand number count for each game is to the right of the dealer, and the actual game that they are playing is on a placard to the left of the dealer. You'll be able to see that shortly when we see the flop cam, I guess you could call it, to indicate what hand they are up to. Maybe the guys down in the studio can tell us how many hands of each game they are playing, or maybe you might have picked that up.
They're
It's
playing
7?
7, I believe.
Okay, there you go.
And the bring-in's 2K.
So as you can see there, Razz and 5. So this is hand number 5 of Razz. It doesn't go the opposite way down. So this is hand number 5.
Yeah, and I think blinds are 2.5, 5 with a 2K bring-in.
So Cale Burns is in there, so it might be a good idea to bring up
I
Cale
reckon
Burns.
Cale's 13 million,
Well,
around there.
you know what? I'm going to take the overs. Overs for a beverage a bit
I
later
reckon
on.
it's 13 something.
All right, I'll take the overs on 13 if you want. Let's have a look. That's the Hendon mob asking me to verify if I'm human again. Got the successful rate. Jeez, if you don't mind. From Geelong, total live earnings, just in case you were wondering, Cale Burns on the outer table. I'm sure he's going to be okay with me sharing this, but 14,579,521 bucks USD. His best live cash was for 1.7 million and a bit of change. He's on the all-time money list of 107th. He was born in Geelong, lives in Melbourne.
Where is he in Australia on the list? Second?
It's good shout. We'll see. Yeah, he is second. Great shout from you. I think Michael Adamo might be one. Yeah, he is. So Michael Adamo is obviously one. Have a look at his stats there. 24 million.
Wow.
So basically 10 million more than Cale Burns. Joe Hasham, good friend of mine. Shout out to the big Joey. He's got 13 million in his total live earnings from tournament poker.
Joe likes to play mixed games. I thought we might see him down here today.
Me too, to be fair. But he obviously is an enigma. And Joe, I play a lot of golf with. Shout outs to Big Joey. I miss the guy. I'm hopefully going to be playing golf with him sometime at the end of this particular series.
How does he hit him?
He hits him all right. Bit unorthodox in terms of his swing, but he gets it done. As 6th Street comes down, unfortunately, can't quite see the cards, so we do apologise. We have to basically call this one blind, but we are working on it. I just got the little update from Matty Marshall. It should come back online with the whole cards and stuff relatively shortly. Can't give you an exact time frame, but we're doing our best. As Deb says, go Gary Benson. Nice to see you in Melbourne. Play Live bringing in the big boys. Good luck, mate. Yeah, I was quite surprised to actually see Gary Benson show up yesterday. I believe he might have jumped into the Octagon event that they had last night. The Octagon being an 8-game format. That started at 6:15 last night. I'm not sure who won that, but I might be able to find that on the Mixed Games Academy Facebook page. If you haven't liked and subscribed there, I strongly suggest you jumping onto Facebook and liking and subscribing to the Mixed Games Academy stuff, which is Shannon Vanderberg and his crew putting together what you see on the screen at the moment in this 10K horse. Eugene Portland coming in saying Lukey Dookie won. Right, okay, so Lukey Dookie, Lucas Durante, taking down the octagon last night. Any idea, Eugene,
Actually, I got
what
sent
that paid?
results.
Oh, did you? Even better. Ship them.
Find them.
Chris McLaughlin coming in there, 1338, I believe it is. Yep, stacked field. Obst, Mayer, Benson, Gupta, Ginny. We do have those stats actually coming in from Dale, coming in clutch as my co-pilot in the commentary here. Lucas Durante, also known as Lukey Dookie, picking up $7,686 for his cash yesterday in that Octagon event. Jiazhu Chen came second for $4,831. Alan Wilson came third for $3,295. Raina Quell came in fourth for $2,415. Oh, Party Tricks. I think that's why he knows, yeah? Party Tricks coming in fifth position there, picking up a few points and picking up also $1,976 for his efforts. And Alla Gould coming in sixth position for $1,757. So quite top heavy, but Lucas Durante taking down the Octagon last night with Eugene Portland, who is on the YouTube chat there, chatting along. Picked up $1,976 for his efforts.
Now, I think I've got a bit of a story about Rayner.
Right, okay,
So
sure.
he played the satellite for this yesterday.
Okay.
Now, the milestone, is that once you get a certain amount of chips?
Yes, that's
you're
yeah,
allowed
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. That's
take the
correct.
seat, catch
So-
up, take the seat.
As Shannon Vanderberg likes to call it, and I actually got a shirt made up that says, "If you reach 250k, she's there." It's a
Yeah.
commonly known phrase that we use in poker. 250k and she's there. So the milestone would have been something like that, 250k, and you get yourself a seat. So what happened there?
Well, Rayner, I got this message this morning from him. He had 499k, 1k off,
Oh, so it was 500k and she's there. What? 1k off. Okay.
499, 1k off winning the 10k seat. Ended up third.
Oh, that is absolutely brutal. Oh my God, that is torture.
Yeah, that's
Pipped
that's
on the line,
torture.
photo finish, yeah?
I
Came
wonder how many
third.
times he counted that stack, looking for that extra 1k chip under the.
Just flick him a K
the
and give him a
napkin
seat.
there.
Yeah, under the napkin, yeah. He's trying to go under the rail to find an extra K. Doesn't get the job done. 1k off. That's absolutely brutal to come third. If you don't mind. Jeez.
Well, actually, I think it gets worse. What did he say here? The hand directly after counting the chip stack.
Chris Burke joining us on the YouTube chat. How good are mixed games and are getting streamed? Just tuning in. Hey, Monk. You'd be in your element. I am in my element. I do love more than two-card poker. It's kind of like my jam. Hence the reason for why the big man Shannon Vanderberg has asked me to anchor this telecast. As D King comes in and says, seat 3 looks like Cameron Smith, Melbourne Storm, old captain. Seat 3, that is James Obst. Absolute crusher. He's second. He's picked up some big money in poker. We just spoke about it before. I think over, what was it, 5 million? Just over 5 million, I think we were talking
Yeah,
about before.
that.
USD. But geez, I'm sorry, you got me gobsmacked before. 499k, 1k off hitting the milestone,
Well,
and doesn't get it done.
Well, the next hand, he on the turn, he had a queen high straight, and golfer Jim got him on the river with a king high.
Right.
Hit Gin on the river apparently.
Right, so Jimmy absolutely drilling Rayner to get himself a seat too, Jim. So Jim might be showing up a bit later on this afternoon.
I think he might have James on his Hender mob that's got the online results as well.
Right, okay.
You have a look at that. I think he crushed online for a long time.
They show up on Hidden Mob? I didn't know that.
I think they.
Okay.
I think they do now.
So we do apologise a little bit for the technical difficulties we are having here at the moment. This is the first time the guys at Play Live and the studio downstairs have ever done mixed game stuff. So as you can see, Don Parker now trying to track the cards and the information. He did go on a bit of a breather to go and speak to the studio about some technical glitches he was getting on the iPad whilst putting in the cards earlier. So we've been about maybe half an hour, give or take, without any information for you guys at home. So we're basically calling this cold, trying to give you as best banter as we can in the commentary box, and obviously showing you the flop cam that can show the cards to the best of our ability in play at any one time. But makes it a little bit difficult for us to be able to call the action when you don't see the down cards and we don't know what people are holding to show you who's got what and which hand wins. So apologies there. We are working on it. Please bear with us as we try and get those issues and bugs ironed out. I am joined here in the comm box with Dale West. And thank you so much for joining me, Dale.
Shin's just asking down there, Shinley, are they streaming any other events? Do you know if they are? So they'll have the day 2 of this tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll have the day 2 tomorrow. The conclusion of obviously this 10K horse championship will start tomorrow at midday. Hopefully by then, well, definitely by then, we'll have all these little bugs ironed out. It's going to start probably about 2:20, call it 2:25 streaming time because there's a 20-minute delay. That's for the qualifiers only. So just the people who make the final table of this particular event today will be coming back tomorrow into 60-minute blind levels 2 for that particular thing. And then I believe we're going to try, and I'm going to talk to Shannon downstairs, whether or not we could potentially look at streaming the main event, which is a 10-game main event just quietly. It's deuce to 7, triple draw, Omaha 8 or better, no limit hold'em, stud, Razz, stud 8 or better, also known as stud Hi-Lo, no limit deuce to 7, single draw, your favourite Dale, Badoogie, or Balk Doogie for the people back at home, limit hold'em and PLO. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games is correct weight. And we're going to see whether or not we can bring you some coverage of that. I'll get confirmation from Shannon Vandenberg downstairs and from the studio downstairs whether or not we can do that. We are obviously struggling a little bit, I should say, with getting the graphics up on the stream on this, but once we clear out a couple of those bugs, we might be able to figure out how we can stream the main. That is a $1,500 buy-in, I should say. Pardon me, I was swallowing some saliva at the same time as me talking. That starts on Friday, the 6th of Feb. It's a 12 o'clock start. Main event day 1, 10 game, like I said, for those people who like to play more than 2 cards, the mixed game guys. It's a $1,500 buy-in. 20-minute levels from levels 1 to 6. 24-minute levels from levels 7 to 11. And 30-minute levels from level 12 onwards. Provided to you by the Mixed Game extraordinaire, Shannon Vandenberg at Mixed Games Academy. Shout out to him. And that starts on Friday, the 6th of Feb. So good chance we might be able to get that on stream. So I'll talk to Shannon during one of the breaks and hopefully bring that information to you.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to get. At least final table.
As-
Good.
yeah.
Those other games.
Yeah, absolutely. As Bam comes into the chat on Twitch, at Play Live Melbourne, you're doing a great job. First time doing this, and these things happen. We really do appreciate all the support we are getting in chat, and we appreciate all the viewers we are also getting for this 10K Horse Championship. It's extremely difficult to commentate these games, but also quite even more difficult when you can't see the whole cards and the graphics aren't working. So we're trying our best to just keep you guys entertained. If you've got any questions, concerns, comments you want to put into chat, more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, Ash was the bring in here. Dan's raised it. Called by, I think it's a queen, by Jason.
So it looks like Ace 8 for Daniel showing. Ace of clubs, 8 of diamonds. And I believe it's Queen 5 for Jason. So Jason's going to pick up a pair of 5s here on 4th Street. We are playing stud high, so just the high portion of it. No low qualifiers in this particular game. I believe it's Ace 8. Is that
I think it was a king.
King?
So Jason paired the 5, so he'll be first to act.
and who's checked it over to
You
Dan
checked
Mayer.
it to
Yeah,
Dan,
you
yeah.
checked it to Dan. And Jason's going to come along, who paired his 5 on 5th Street. Here comes 6th Street. King of clubs, I believe, and 10 of diamonds. So it looks like ace of clubs, 8 of diamonds. I believe that's a king of hearts, maybe, on 5th Street for Dan Mayer. 10 of diamonds.
I think Jason got the king.
Very hard to see the
Yeah,
cards.
it's
We do
hard to see.
apologise because of the reflection. We are seeing exactly what you're seeing at home. So if you're having difficulties reading the cards, imagine being here in the comm box trying to give you the action. It's quite difficult as... Have they been pitched their 7th card? I think that is correct. As
It went check. So they're on 7th. 7th now.
Dan Mayer is just squeezing up here the 3 cards. 2 down to start off with, and then the last card, the 7th card, also known as 7th Street, is the last down card. So 3 down cards and 4
I
up.
feel like Jason.
Dan Mayer's coming for a raise here and called by Jason. So
Dan liked 7th. I'd
it looks
say.
like he's got aces and 7s, and Jason's going to fold. So Dan Mayer's going to take that down with 2 pairs, aces and 7s. I'd imagine that Jason probably picked up 2 pair himself. Most likely queens up, considering his up card was a queen. He probably backdoored into 2 pairs there, and Dan Mayer obviously picking up a 7 or an ace on 7th Street to take it down with aces and 7s. There's approximately going to be a break in 20 minutes from now. We have been told from the studio, as they, I believe, have fixed the graphics. So we might be going in on a break in about 20 minutes. I'll see if I can talk to Matty Marshall downstairs. Matty, if you wouldn't mind bringing up those notes, how are we looking in terms of getting the whole cards going? Chance we might be able to bring that information to the players and to the viewers, I should say, after this break, or how are we looking? There's 150k now in the prize pool too, just quietly. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, 15 players.
2 aces up there. Jason and James.
Says, give us
See. Dan with the 4 was the bring in. Bruno's raised it, I believe. Can't tell what Bruno's card was. It's been called by Hank, but he's got rid of the 2 aces that were up. Jason and James. Is that a jack for Hank? 9 for Bruno. I think that's a jack.
Could be a 4-side
this is
10 too, so I can't quite see. Is that a 9? Is that a pair of 9s now for
Yeah, I
Bruno, or is
think-
it 10-9?
I think
Can't see
Bruno
with the
and
pips.
Dan have paired their door card. I think Dan's got 4-4, Bruno 9-9. Not sure what Hank's card was. I think Bruno bet and then Hank raised it. Oh, Bruno doesn't look too happy every time he calls here.
Thanks a lot for calling the action, by the way,
That's
Dale. I'm just
a-
sort of talking to Matty Marshall
Yep.
on the chat, on the
Think-
side, on the phone.
I think Bruno caught an ace and a 2. Can't see what Hank has. But Hank's bet every street, I believe. Yeah, see, that's not a enthusiastic call by Bruno, is it? It's like an 8 for Hank there. I can't see that other one.
So just to talk a little bit about stud high here, you get dealt 2 face down cards, also known as your down cards, and 1 face up. The lowest card is forced to make a bring in, which can either be a complete to the structure or a forced to bring in of the ante amount. Usually most players just bring it in for the ante amount. Then there are 4 up cards or 3 additional up cards that go to each player's hands. And then 1 face down card on 7th Street, leaving you with 3 down cards and 4 up cards in your hand. And the object of stud high is to try and make the best 5-card high hand as you can. Obviously seeing all the other players' cards, or up cards I should say, on the table shown.
I haven't seen very often players complete when they're the bring-in. Doesn't happen often. When I have seen it, I've noticed they're usually a short stack. So someone's decided that's the hand they're going with when they're the bring-in.
Sure.
I don't know if there's much of a positive to doing it if you've got plenty of chips.
Vittorio, we are working on it downstairs. This is the first time we've ever streamed mixed game stuff, and there are some technical difficulties we are working with at the studio downstairs, so we do apologise again. I know I've said it on repeat 100 times, but trying to bring you a 10K championship here at Play Live Melbourne, this would be about their 10th or 11th stream that they've done since they've got this RFID table in, so we're just trying to get through a couple of the technical issues. And then we'll be able to call the action a little bit easier and be able to get rid of any confusion some of you do have in the chats as to why nothing's being shown and the information on the screen is not accurate. I believe that we're going to be going on a break relatively soon, and I'll talk to the boys downstairs about how quickly we can get the graphics showing on the stream. We'll be updating everything and making sure that everything is absolutely accurate when we do come back, hopefully. And if not, we'll let you know what's going to transpire. As it looks like, is it a pair of kings there for Bruno?
I don't think...
Is it king, king, queen, I think he had on 5th?
I'm not sure. I saw it, I think it was a queen on 5th. I'm not sure what his up card was. But he had 3 paint.
He had 3 paint, but it looked like a king up. And I believe he might have caught a king also on 4th. It could have been a queen, but he definitely picked up another paint card on 5th Street. So he either had king, king, queen, 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 king, or obviously king, jack, queen. And it was enough to get Dan May to fold anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. This is the Mixed Games Academy 10K Horse Championship, brought to you by the Prince of Poker, Shannon Vanderberg of Mixed Games Academy, in association with Play Live Melbourne. The headquarters here at 129 York Street, South Melbourne. You've got some deep pockets and you want to play in this particular event. Registration's open till 6:45. This is the 10K Horse Championship. Qualifiers will come back tomorrow to compete for all the money. Well, I should say the prize money. They're going to be coming back tomorrow at midday. We're on the game of stud at the moment. The horse acronym is obviously Hold'em, Omaha 8 or better, Razz, stud high and then stud high low.
I think that folded round to Ginny there. It's completed with the picture card. Oh, Ash is raised. Ash is showing a 3.
7 of spades. 9 of diamonds.
7 for Ginny, 9 for Ash.
Ash is going to bet out the 9 and Gin's going to fold.
Alright, let's play a new game.
Game change.
Last hand wasn't that high
Could have been.
Oh my god.
There's Ashy just talking bubbers in the chat on the table. Goose, I think there was a question in there. Brad is the dealer currently sitting in the seat, also known as Goose. He's a mixed games player himself. I've battled with him at the table a few times. He's very close with Shannon. They're good mates and obviously can deal all the mixed games, and I believe that he will be dealing the 25 game Dealer's Choice, which is on Saturday the 7th of Feb at 2 o'clock. It's a $500 buy-in. Dealer's Choice, there is 25 plus games to choose from. Eat your heart out if you like a bit of mixed game stuff. That's a 25 plus games you can choose from.
Start high low, James.
Basically, that's every single game except for Snap, I would imagine. And that's in there at 2 o'clock on Saturday the 7th of Feb.
Spades. 3 of spades.
Just quietly on Saturday the 7th of Feb as well. At 7 p.m, the Drawmaha rotation. Now, if you like Drawmaha, that's a game. It's Drawmaha, just the original format of Drawmaha, and Deuce to 7 Drawmaha. I might get into that a little bit later on when I find some time for those Drawmaha players. Tell you what, if I'm not commentating on that, I might jump into that Drawmaha game. I absolutely love a bit of Drawmaha.
Is that pot limit?
That would be pot limit for sure, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Double
that'd be a
check.
fun one.
double check with Shannon at the break.
They're all fun. If you've got the chance, come down and play them. Jump into as many as you can.
So it looks like three-way action here on 4th Street. Like I said, extremely difficult for us to be able to show you what the cards are and read them out on the screen. We are seeing it exactly as you are seeing it at home for the time being. Looks like a bet call. So Ashy's called, Bruno's called, and Hank's going to come along. Here comes 5th Street down and dirty. Jack of Hearts, Deuce of Hearts, and the 7 of Clubs. No, this doesn't make for very good viewing at the moment. And Ashley's going to lead out again. Bruno's going to come along. This is hand 1 of stud high-low. As you can see there, hand number 1 of stud high-low. 6 of spades and a 9 of spades. So it looks like Hank's got a pair of 2s, or pardon me, Bruno's got a pair of 2s.